Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakah, Kadash, double wonders unto the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well, and Shalom to the whole full elect. This is another prophecy and news coming back at you again. And basically, the name of this article is Fast Growing Web of Doorbell Cams Raises Privacy Fears. Okay, now we know, according to the book of Daniel's second and seventh chapter, when the time of the 10 toes, part being strong and part being weak, basically being iron mixed with miry clay. And also in Daniel 7, it talks about I'm trying to remember what the beast was, man. I believe it was straight up the beast. Let me just quickly check, actually. Yeah, basically the beast and a dreadful and terrible beast having great iron teeth. Um, it's lucky I'll just try to. Oh, that's it. Okay, yeah. I'll quickly read this. So again. Yeah, fast growing web doorbell cam raises privacy fears. So yeah, okay, that's the point. So we know we're in the time of the 10 toes part being strong and weak, but more so the point in Daniel the 7th chapter and the 8th verse. I'm gonna skip to the point where it says and behold, in the horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and the mouth speaking great things. Now the eyes of man meaning technology, great like understanding. So this is that prophecy coming to pass. Is part of that prophecy coming to pass, because all this basically is a lead up. These advancements in technology, going to Daniel, also going in, also um, in line with the prophecy of Daniel, the 12th chapter about um, wisdom and knowledge shall be increased. Basically, this is the show of that. Okay, so now I'm gonna jump straight to the point. I'm gonna start reading this article. The woodsy community of Walcott, Connecticut, doesn't see a lot of crime, but when the police chief heard about an opportunity to distribute doorbell cameras to some homes, he didn't hesitate, which don't make no sense at all. Because if it don't have no crime, there's no reason for them to really allow that form of privacy to be interrupted for the sake of stopping crime, you know. And I'm going to read on. The police who keep watch over the town of 16,000 raffled off 3 cameras in partnership with a camera manufacturer. So far, the devices have encountered more bears than criminals, see? But Chief Ed Stephens is still a fan. So he's still a fan, regardless of the fact that it's not even catching no criminals. Anything that helps to keep the town safe, I'm going to do it, he said. But as more police agencies join with the company known as Ring, the partnerships are raising privacy concerns. Critics complain that the systems turn neighbors into a place of constant surveillance and create suspicion that falls heavier on minorities. Alright, so it's actually causing more of a problem than a solution. Alright. Police say the cameras can serve as digital neighborhood watch in a place where it don't actually need to be used. Now, what you should understand from what's already been said in the article is that this really is a test run, right? They're testing this out. They're seeing how it works with the people, what kind of atmosphere it'll generate amongst them, so they can basically move on to the bigger town. And really, they already have it. That's why you have the scripture in Jeremiah, which speaks about a leopard shall watch over their cities, because it's talking about Big Brother, basically the cameras, which over here in London, one of the most surveyed cities in the whole world, That's a that's a reality. Critics also say Ring, a subsidiary of Amazon, appears to be marketing its cameras by stirring up fear of crime at a time when it's decreasing. Amazon's promotional videos show people lurking around homes, and the company recently posted a job opening for managing news editor to deliver breaking crime news alerts to our neighbors. All right, so you know, problem, reaction, solution. They're creating a problem so they can bring about so that people react a certain way and they can initiate this solution. So it shows you really and truly this is all about Esau, who today is known as a so-called white man, generate basically extending his arm in his kingdom because ultimately he wants to be in position of the Most High. It tells you the Most High, the eyes of the Most High are brighter than the sun, 10,000 times brighter than the sun, being the angels. All right, um, keeping track of all the people, and in Thessalonians it tells you about him basically establishing himself, being Esau, establishing himself as the most, trying to establish, wanting to establish himself as the Most High. So in doing so, he needs his angels, which will be the security cameras, CCT, closed circuit, television, and all these different forms of technology, basically allow him to initiate a process to make him be looked at as the Most High, basically. So reading on, um, it says Amazon is profiting off of fear, and Chris Gilead, an English professor at Michigan's Marcone Community College and a prominent critic of Ring and other technology that he says can reinforce race barriers. So this is bringing about more. And now when you think about race barriers, you got to think about Psalms the 83rd chapter where it speaks about all the nations coming together to make a tumult against the nation of Israel, to make them, let's take their name, um, remove their name from the earth. So in them doing that, okay, shit. Now in them doing that, when we're talking about race, obviously what we're talking about, these the elites, the so-called white man, Edom, the red Hebrew Edomite, basically bringing about bringing about uh what's the word I'm looking for, man? Bringing about man, it's on the tip of my tongue, man. Fuck. Excuse me, man. Um, it's right there. It's such a simple word as well. Racial prejudice, prejudgment, really upon the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, so that them basically, taking us out of this the face of the earth is justified basically, when really it's about them coveting our blessing. All right. So yeah. Part of the strategy seems to be selling the cameras where the fear of crime is more real than the actual existence of crime. The cameras offer uh, a wide view from wherever they are positioned. Homeowners get phone alerts with streaming um, video if the doorbell rings or the device he senses detect a person or a passing car. And you think the fact that you have the access to this technology being put in your house, you think Esau, the elites, don't have the access to this information. Yeah, they do. They got first dibs on this information, because I'm sure they're gonna make you sign off on all this all of this information to be used for them, third party and whatnot. All right. Um, so reading on, it says Ring's basic doorbell sells for $99. The recurring charge is starting at $3 a month for users who want footage stored. All right. Ring says it stores the recordings for 2 months, Many law enforcement agencies nationwide said the idea to partner with Ring came after the company promoted its product at law enforcement conferences. All right. Some departments have chosen to simply use Ring Neighbors app, which encourages residents to share videos of suspicious activity. This is like the new generation of neighborhood watch. Obviously, you have certain neighborhoods where more suburban communities where they all come together for a community meeting and speak about their concerns of neighborhood watch, maybe people that have moved into the neighborhood, recent events that have occurred, and bring up the issues and that kind of stuff. And then they set about maybe having people that'll walk about the neighborhood, maybe even go as far as creating a form of contact with police, all right, to put eyes upon certain people within the neighborhood, or to as we have over here in London or in the UK, or they don't have it as. I mean, the last time I see it, it's really in Jake neighborhood. It's funny enough because I don't see it. I'm the neighborhood I live in ain't really a Jake neighborhood like that, and I don't see bobbies on a beat, as we call them, which is police walking a beat, meaning walking a certain area. But when you go to those Jake neighborhoods, I remember there were certain times when in years 10 odd years ago, maybe 15 years ago, you had bobbies on a beat on your local estate, which you would know as a project if you're in America. Or they'll be walking in twos up and down and be monitoring that area heavily. So this is their new take on that, man. You know. So it says, read it again. Some departments have chosen to simply use Ring's Neighbors app, which encourages residents to share videos of suspicious activity. Other agencies agreed to provide subsidies matched by Ring to offer hundreds of discounted cameras in hopes of tapping into footage of residential streets, yards and sidewalks, and some police chiefs raffle off the devices. Ring will not disclose the number of communities with such partnerships. So you see, you already had that in effect. All right, sharing video is always voluntary and privacy is protected, according to the company and police. There is nothing required of homeowners who participate in the subsidies, and their identity and data remain private. Spokeswoman Bridget Gorham said she she said customers can control who views their footage, and no personally identifiable information is shared with the police without a user's consent. Realistically, though, if the police want a video for an investigation, they can seek a search warrant. Simple, all right. And we know with laws like Slovakia, man, my mind is working a bit slow this morning. With things like the what's the name of this act, man? Uh, Patriot Act, okay, with things like that in place, where basically constitutional rights you can be waived, if forms of terrorism are believed to be involved, they can just go basically get this information without even a search warrant. You know what I mean? Tech industry and that analyst Carolina Milan said engaging with police and offering incentives is a very smart move by Ring and a missed opportunity for competitors, including Google's Nest and smaller companies such as Arlo Technologies and Simply Safe. All right. Uh, but then this is the thing: is Amazon, these big tech companies, they're all basically part of the same beast anyway, man. Google, Amazon, they're all undermanaged from the elites. So it's just a different take, all right? They're, even though it seems like there's uh, there's multiple different companies out there. There is one person controlling it all, man, being the elites, the so-called white man, the red Hebrew Edomite, all right? But a star fraternity at the American Civil Liberties Union of Southern California called the system an unmitigated disaster for the privacy of many neighborhoods, and that's really what it is. Nothing has mitigated this disaster. They're just working upon the fears of the people for them to implement an agenda, which is all part of biblical prophecy. So this is for the fulfillment of prophecy, ultimately leading to the RFID chip, because there's a good short video. I can't remember the name. I think it's called Plurality. It come out. I see that on Boss or Hip Hop. Came out 2012 or something like that. Plurality, something like spelled like that. It's like 15 minutes long, and they have something that's called the Bentham grid, and basically it's like when you come in contact with a handrail and in a train station, basically it'll pull up all your details and start marketing things to you and bettering your experience, quote unquote bettering your experience in the city. Something like the cookies on your mobile phone that tailors your experience with certain websites according to your previous history um, on the web browser. So like for example, you're walking down it's the same thing that's shown in Minority Report. Now what you'd had the reason why they had the movie is because when someone they had something like a time machine where people go back in time, all right, and they basically trying to take the work the system, take the system off out of play, because they're coming from a dystopian, even though that is a dystopian future, they're coming from a dystopian future to that, and saying they want to stop it while in its tracks while it's there. That's the key time they say. But the point being is that that person that's been sent back already exists within that system. So when they touch a handrail, they pull it up as plurality, which basically really is identity fraud. Okay, so it's someone mimicking another person, but they don't, for the sake of, the movie, you know, that's what it is. They're saying there's two people at the same time, but really that's identity fraud, and that's what Esau wants to do. All right, he wants to have it down to a T where you have this RFID chip, it has the barcode number, which I can't remember the universal. I can't remember the actual name for it, but that being the 666 being the number of his name inside the barcode on the RFID chip, sorry, which is allocated to one person. So that one person, this is that person, this is their biometrics, everything about them, brown eyes, black hair, etc., etc., etc. All right. So this is all being worked towards an RFID chip to monitor the people. So as well as keeping tabs on the people by having an RFID chip in their hand or in somewhere in their body, they also have visuals on it. So it's total control. All right. Because the RFID chip, according to being a mark of the beast, according to going in line with the law in Exodus the 21st chapter, it says about if a man will plainly say I love my master and I will serve him, they take him to the judges and then they put all through his ear. So that's like one play of it. That's like you're our possession, but then also is to keep tabs and to basically know your patterns and everything, and have total control. All right. Through the subsidy programs, Amazon gets to offer at taxpayer dime discounted products that allow it to really expand its tentacles into wide areas of private life way more than it already has. Mohammed Taj Salakia, man, Taj Sar said the Los Angeles suburb of Arcadia has spent $50,000 to offer discounts on 1,000 cameras. Several other communities in the region also participate in subsidy programs, and officials in count Los Angeles County just voted last month to get on board. Officers can view a heat map that shows the general area where cameras are, but they do not see a camera's actual location. If police want a video, they must contact Ring to see if the resident is willing to share, said Jennifer Brutus, senior management analyst for the Arcadia Police Department. So this is talking about the police department only, They have access to that if they have a search warrant. So let's imagine on a higher level, we're talking FBI, CIA, and then even higher than that, Secret Service, all these top um, level, top tier government agencies. They ain't got to go through no channels like that. They can tap into it. They got hackers on the payroll, so they got that, like they got it down pat. For example, like when you had Batman, the movie. I believe the one with Joker, where he basically made a sonar system using everyone's mobile phones, and he tapped into it using Fox, um, wherever his name is, Morgan Freeman's character, and they basically could see everything, all right, down to a T. So, you know, they've already set up a grid basically. You know what? I'm gonna, for the sake of the length of this video, I'm gonna just jump into some scriptures to, hold the point of, because you can read up on that article, and get all the information you need um, on that. Okay, so this is Jeremiah 5 and 6, and it reads, all right, Jeremiah 5 and 6. Wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evening shall spoil them. All right, so it's talking about, it's going back into the time when Jeremiah was cursing out Israel. All right, but it also applies to now, because these things are gonna happen, man. And it says a leopard shall watch over their cities. Now, you know, obviously there is leopards actually watching over these cities, but also this is talking about this technology. As I spoke about before in Daniel's the 12th chapter, it says, wisdom shall be increased, and that it tells you in Ezekiel he is thou wiser than Daniel, and the of children of light are in this. The children of this world in this generation are wiser than the children of light because of this technology. All right, they have the use of this technology, and this world is basically in Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. This earth is basically being formed for their rulership. So they everything about it is in tune with their spirit. That's why we're being oppressed, because the word oppressed means to press down on your spirit. So that's why they thrive in a society, whereas we don't. Okay, and obviously the curses as well. But more so, the point being is the lepers, watching over the cities is these different systems that are basically one of the main things. Like I just read, the camera systems, right, being built up over the Americas, or the land of America at this point in time, which is Babylon the Great according to the Bible, because this is part of the police, the military troops, and the cameras are aiding them. All right, that's why you have drones as well, drone technology, because it's an aid on them to basically, watch over the cities and collect data and basically have great understanding. And that's why they have different things like facial recognition technology. All right, like the facial recognition technology. That's basically to, that's bringing it down to, down to a T, who's who and who's who and who's doing what. All right, and that's why it's a great power in itself. All right. um you know what, that I'm just gonna close it on that. So yeah, this is the technology that's being utilized over this earth, man. And it's gonna be utilized in a greater manner the longer we're in this society, man. Until Esau, it says when he's about to fill his belly, you know, basically the Lord's gonna come back, man, and get busy. So with that, I pray you edify. Shalom.